Hi, it's Peggy Lee, and I'm here to bring you today a Marion Smith Designs mini album blog hop, if you want to say. The design team is giving a farewell, and everyone's doing a mini album, and we're sharing it on marionsmithdesigns.blogspot.com. And also, you can see it on my blog, which is pegbaker.blogspot.com. And on my blog, it's a long post. It's going to have tons of close-up photos and this little walkthrough. So Marion asked us to make a mini album with the collections. You know, we could use whatever we wanted. We could do whatever we wanted. It was free. It's kind of awesome to be able to just create with what we have. I have tons of scraps left over. So a lot of this was made up with scraps of paper that I had left over, some embellishments that I had left over, and it was really fun. And so my size of my album is 5 by 7, and I did a really kind of cool technique, and I'll kind of walk you through it a little bit. But this is a 5 by 7 album long way, and it's actually kind of cool. I like how it sits up on the counter. In one of the packages that Marion sent me, she sent me these little binder rings, which are so cute. I love how distressed they are. They're just right up my alley. The name of my mini album is True Beauty Vintage Mini Album. And the reason I did vintage is because, like I said on my blog, it's my second name. It's just who I am. I love everything vintage. I am a collector. I collect mother of pearl buttons. I collect fabric. I collect old books. I collect postcards. I collect old broken jewelry. I am a collector. I'm truly a collector. But I also use my collections. I mean, some people might think, wow, but I actually use my creations. Like I use my mother of pearl buttons, which mother of pearl is my favorite button in the whole wide world. And sometimes it's really hard to use them, but I do use them because it is a signature of mine and I love them. So to get started on the base of my album, I did 5 by 7 chipboard pieces that I covered with, here's the back, I covered with book paper. You can't really see it, but I just grabbed old book paper. This one actually was a encyclopedia book, and then I took my pinking shears, and after I trimmed down 2 by 3 inch squares, and then I cut them with my pinking shears to give it, you can't really see it, kind of got covered up, but it really gave that look. And on the edges, you can see on the edges, let's see if I get closer, see how rough edge, it looks like the mini book has like a scalloped edge or like a rough edge. It's not, it's the paper, because the way I cut it with the pinking shears, which is kind of cool. So then what I did is I just took my handy dandy Mod Podge, bottle of Mod Podge, and before I Mod Podged the pieces of book paper on, I inked them with Vintage Photo. And I do have a process video of me covering my chipboard pieces. I just don't have it uploaded yet. I'll have it uploaded soon, but it's really kind of fun. It's kind of freeing. And then what I did is after it dried, I took my finger and some gesso and just did a whitewash over it to give it it was just too dark. I wanted a grunge look, but it was just too dark for the papers I was going to use. So I did a whitewash over it, and I love it. It looks so dingy. So let me walk you through my album. So the first thing I did here on the cover is you see these gorgeous blooms, those paper flowers. Well, these paper flowers, let me see if I can get you a closer look. These paper flowers are made with Marion's bloom tool. I'm going to get you a closer look here. These paper flowers were made with Marion's bloom tool. All right, and here's the bloom tool for you to see. It is Marion's bloom tool. It's a lovely tool. Oh my gosh, I love it. It just makes flower making so much easier, and it really indents the flower, and it holds its shape. It helps the paper hold its shape, and I love that. I have gesso on mine. I need to take a baby wipe to it because I'm a messy crafter. So that's the bloom tool. And then I took her dies, and this flower right here was created with the peony petal die, and it's made with the large and the second largest flower, and I just love it. Now what I did is, this is from, I believe this is the Motley paper, and it had on the back of it had like, let me see if I can show you. It had like an orange color, and I was like, oh, I don't want the orange to show, so I just took gesso and whitewashed every leaf or every petal, and it gave it a softer look. So I added one of Marion's flower resins, and here is the leaf die, the Leaf and Simmons die. I die cutted that out of a piece from the Never Grow Up paper. And then this die right here is the small rose petal die. This is the large and the small rose petal die together with a vintage pearl and Marion's Junk and Gems. And then this one is the center of this flower is the small petal die, and with Marion's Junk and Gems in the center of it. I love it. And then you can't really see, but tucked underneath I have a couple of Marion's resin, metal, what do you call those? Metal disc. They're Junk and Gems. And then I have the most adorable little, the butterfly from the Junk and Gems. I love this. And I just took and I bent over the butterfly wings over a pencil, added some more bling from Marion Smith. And let me back out so I can show you the rest. And then I added some of Marion's paper. And what I did with all the pages in the album, and I'll show you a little better on this page, I took and I distressed all my edges with my distress tool. And then I did ink, and then I did white gesso over it. It's a technique. I absolutely love it. It gives it a little shabby feel. And then this piece right here, these two pieces right here in this album, they actually are one piece in Marion's collection. They're one piece. I cut them apart and just layered them together. I love how it looks. And it says True Beauty is on the inside, but it doesn't hurt to match the outside. And I just love that saying. And I love the colors and the vintage feel and the writing. And then I added some more mother of pearl buttons. So let's go into the middle of the book. And then I'm going to back out again. Okay, so here's the middle of the book. I'm going to start with this page first. Okay. And on this one, I did, on this one, you can see here, if I show you, see how distressed that is? That is distressed with my distressor, edge distressor. Anyone, it could be Heidi Swaps, it could be Tim Holtz, it could be a Prima tool, whatever. An edge distressor. Actually, I think I used a close to my heart edge distressor on that one. And then I do vintage photo ink on it. And then I take my paintbrush and I lightly run over the edges with white gesso. I just love it. It just gives it a really shabby feel. So here is another one of Marion's journal cards that you can cut out of the paper collection. And this mini album was made with Never Grow Up, Motley, Garment District, Nirvana paper collections, as well as the Junk and Gems, the resin flowers, the bling, her dies, and the bloom tool. Just amazing. Her collection is awesome. And then this is a little fussy cut I cut out of one of the papers. And then these little roses were cut out of the Motley paper, I believe. No, Never Grow Up. Never Grow Up. So it's really kind of fun. This is from the Garment District, this little cutout. And I had all these left over. So it was really fun to make a mini album. I could just grab my stash and go for it. So, and this is another page. This is from the Never Grow Up line. It's one of my favorite pages. I love to fussy cut these little roses or cabbage roses out. And I left this one plain. I think it would be pretty with one big photo on it. So there's that page. And then here's another page. This is from the Garment District. And I love the shabby feel. I love the sewing patterns. And because this page had sewing patterns, I knew this page had to be embellished with a thimble thread and the little thimble, the string silk spool logo, and then the dress form. And then Marion Smith has these really dainty little doilies. I love those fun to tuck right in. So I left this one blank because you could put a whole photo on here or just a small little photo right here and leave this luscious vintage flower hanging out. And then this one you can tuck a photo in behind the pieces. I left them open so you could tuck a photo in here. And you could do a small Instagram photo. You could do a, you know, a 2 by, what is it, wallet size photo. I did, again, fussy cut some roses out of the paper collection. This was a leftover piece from Garment District, I believe. And these are from Garment District. And I love the little mother of pearl buttons. I kept my mini album simple, but really fun and just fun and creative. And now these 2 pages, I actually left blank. I did not embellish them. I thought these would be a great place for 4 by 6 photos. And then maybe add some more embellishments on top of the photos. I love this paper. This is from Never Grow Up. This is from Garment District. Yeah, Garment District. Yeah, I believe. And then this one's from Never Grow Up or Motley. I can't remember exactly every single page, but I just love the collections. So this one I left blank. I love this one. I thought I'd put a long skitty photo right here and add some journaling onto the side. And I couldn't cover up this gorgeous rose. You know, sometimes Marion's papers are too gorgeous to cover up. And then this one is Garment District. I love Garment District. And then these are some leftover pieces I had. And on the back side of this had a little dress form, but I really wanted to showcase the photo, the camera, which the camera I believe came from Nirvana collection. And that fussy cut these same roses out. I love these little roses. They're so real looking. I love them. And I cut a frame out from Motley and add some more mother of pearl buttons. And then this is my favorite. It's so funny that this is actually my favorite page, and I have to tell you that this pink stripe, cream stripe one was not my favorite in the collection, and I used it because I needed the pink vintage feel. And then this was a leftover card, actually cut off from another piece off one of the collections, and I added it on top of it. And then, oh my gosh, I said, oh, I'll fussy cut out some of those roses from the Never Grow Up paper, and then these roses from the Never Grow Up. And I just, you know, you tuck in this little piece was a little piece I just cut out of a collection and stuck that there. And you can still put a photo in there, and I added the doily. This is actually my favorite page. It's kind of funny. It's funny how our tastes change. And then this page I left blank. So for a 4 by 6 photo to go with this photo. And we could actually, I could actually take some of the blues and the pinks and add them over here after I put my photo down. And that's it. That's my little mini album. I love this page too. So this is my simple 5 by 7 vintage style mini album. And it's kind of really fun. I love the flowers. I loved mixing the different size petal shapes and adding the metal with the paper and the white gesso with the book pages. It's a really cute little mini album, and this is going to look really pretty sitting on my table. And actually, the photos that I'm going to put in here, we just went to Maine, and we just went and visited my mom, who is a handicap. She's in a wheelchair, and she only has one arm that she can use. And I took some photos of her grandchildren with her, and my daughter, who just graduated from college or high school. There was some photos that I took that are just priceless, are just gorgeous memories that I want to keep. And I think I'm going to put them in here because it just speaks right to my soul about the little things that our mothers our mothers have done for us. And, you know, the sewing, and my mother used to cut buttons off all of our clothes and keep them in a jar. And I think that's where I got my paper button fanatic from, is, you know, my mother saved all of our buttons. Of course, we were farmers and poor, dirt poor, and but we were loved. We never knew we were poor. So my photos are going to go in this one of that, and I'll share some close-ups on my blog when I fill them with some photos. But this was a fun mini album. Be sure to hop over to marionsmithsdesigns.blogspot.com and join us with our little kind of like a mini blog hop of all the mini albums that the girls have created. And be sure to stop over to my blog, which is pegbaker.blogspot.com. And thanks. Have a good day.